to join and how you do so if you want to join, and get some feedback from you guys on our plans for the year and what our goals are, so everybody's on the same page in terms of planning to do this year. So first, I want to turn the meeting over to Dr. Lori Westfall, who's the director of the GT department, and let her introduce you guys to her staff.
Okay, as Kim had said, Dr. Lori Westfall, director for the GT department here in Fort Bend. I am honored to have the majority of our department here today. And kind of what I might do is, I see us on the screen, we all see that. So I'm going to introduce the person to my right, and then we'll kind of have everybody go down. So the newest member of our team, Anella Williams, she is our GT program manager for elementary. So I'm going to have her unmute, show herself, say maybe a little bit about herself, and then I'll have her introduce the name to the right on our screen, and then we'll just keep going.
Okay, hi. Like Dr. Westfall said, my name is Anella Williams, and I'm the elementary program manager. I started in Fort Bend just after spring break in March and have hit the ground running. So very excited to be here. This is my 21st year in education. So very excited. My screen, you're all across the top. So I'm just going to pick another person on my team and say, I'm going to turn it over to Aisha.
Thanks, Anella. Good afternoon. My name is Aisha Coleman Holmes. I am the secondary GT program manager here in Fort Bend. I've been with the district. This is year number 5, I believe, for me. I work specifically with our secondary students to ensure that they are receiving services at the secondary level. The person I will introduce is Mr. Terry White, who is our GT integration coordinator.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Terry White. I'm the Curriculum Integration Coordinator. This is my 5th year in Fort Bend ISD, and my background is gifted and talented, along with all things STEM, and I'm really responsible for GT summer camps, TPSP Innovation Hour. And so just look forward to being here this evening with you guys, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to Nancy Bryant.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm Nancy Bryant. I am the Gifted and Talented Mentorship Specialist. So I work mostly with our seniors and have them set up for success in their future careers and college experiences. So I will throw it back to Dr. Westfall.
And the other person from our department is Joseph Bernhardt. He's our coordinator for our GT Academy, which is our middle school academy, grades 6 through 8, housed at Quail Valley Middle School. And he had another school-related commitment this evening, so he's not with us. But when your children hit 5th grade, you're going to be hearing a lot more. And actually, if you have elementary students right now, the GTA is going to be having some information at all of the elementary open houses. So if you're elementary, you're going to be hearing about our Gifted and Talented Academy. So it's kind of exciting. I'll throw it back to Kim.
Thanks, guys. So this is your GT PAC Executive Board. As I said, I'm Kim Hipsch. This is my 2nd time as GT PAC president. I was president first during the COVID years when we did everything online. So I'm excited to be president in a year where I might actually see other humans in person. Steve Joshi is going to be our secretary for this year. And our 2 other executive board positions are open right now. So we will be looking in the coming month or 2 for a president-elect. That person will kind of shadow me this year and then take over next year as the president of the PAC. And we'll also be looking for a parliamentarian just to keep us on track and make sure we're not violating our bylaws as we go through. You'll hear more about those positions next month if you're interested, but if you have questions, at some point we'll put the GT PAC email address in the chat so you guys can send me questions if you have them between now and our next meeting. So for those of you that are new to the PAC, we wanted to give you guys an overview of what the PAC does and what its role is in the district. So if you look at this little diagram, that's all of us at the top, the Fort Bend ISD GT parents. And our goals kind of around this loop are really to be a liaison between the GT PAC and the school community. And that means coordinating with our COGs potentially if there's events at school that they want you to show up for. It's talking to other if they have questions and bringing information in both directions, both to and from the PAC about GT services and what's happening in the GT program to try and get all of our parents as much information as possible. The PAC will also offer feedback on GT initiatives. So there are months where the GT department will come to us with a specific question or a survey or an idea they want to flush out and talk to parents about. And the PAC serves as a way for them to get feedback from a variety of GT parents and in kind of one fell swoop. We will host meetings for our GT PAC members to accomplish all of these things. And we will also host GT PAC family events that are for both parents to get to know each other, but also to give the kids different outlets. So some of those things will be events where you're going to show up with your child and the kids will have a chance to interact with students from other GT students from different schools, but the parents also have that time to interact also and kind of meet other people within the district that are potentially facing similar concerns about their children or having similar experiences or have kind of similar backgrounds and questions. So the GT PAC kind of accomplishes all of this within this one group. On the Gifted and Talented homepage, if you look on the left, as you can kind of see on this screen, there is a link for the Parent Advisory Committee. And if you go through that link, you'll be able to get minutes from past PAC meetings. You'll be able to get presentations that happened before. You'll be able to find all the information you need about the GT PAC in and of itself. So if you forget something we talked about tonight, you'll be able to find that webpage. That webpage will give you the information you're missing, hopefully. So we wanted to make it clear what the GT PAC cannot do because there's been confusion in the past and we want to make sure everybody is super clear on exactly what we can and can't do. So despite all the things I just told you we can do, there are key things we can't do. We can't change curriculum. We can't change teacher training or GT programming. We can't address personal issues related to their gifted child, meaning the PAC is here to serve the district as a whole and not just one individual child. And we can't enforce what can be done at the district level. Our job is really to provide that feedback and to provide that information to our parents and kind of act as that go-between the district and the parents. It's not to kind of do these more specialized things that we have actual experts for. So the Texas State Plan for the Education of Gifted and Talented Students requires this kind of parent committee to exist, and that's how the PAC kind of came to be. It's really a way for the state to kind of ensure that parents have a way to connect with the district, and the district has a way to connect to parents, so that the goal is to really ensure that information flow between the district and parents. So we also, a big part of what we do from the district's perspective is to provide that feedback. So within our bylaws is this exact discussion about being able to give feedback on what's happening within the Gifted and Talented program. So there are definitely times, including tonight, where the district will come with a question and say, we want to know what you guys think. This is something we're thinking about or something we've been doing, and we want to get feedback on how it's working or what we think might be challenges here. And it's a way for them to talk things through, but also a way for us as parents to really provide that feedback and to say, I'm not sure this will work at the elementary level for X, Y, and Z reason. Or I have questions about how this is going to play out in high school. So it really goes both ways. The goal of the PAC is really to facilitate this conversation and to be able to give that feedback. So our goals for this year are to provide support to both our parents and then subsequently our student parent support, to build our parental involvement and build that support network across the district, and to increase our communication to all stakeholders. Those of you who have been with us for a while know that communication is a real, we'll call it a pressure point for me. It's really important to me that our parents know what's going on. And I've worked with Nancy Bryant on the newsletter for many years, and we've all been very passionate about increasing that communication. So if there's ways that we can continue to do that, that's a goal for this year within the PAC as well. So these are kind of our expectations going forward. We're going to kind of identify resources within the PAC that we can distribute within our communities. We're going to be able to contribute that feedback, as we talked about, to the GT department itself. And through that feedback and resources, that gives us a way to advocate for our kids and help people see the unique needs that GT students have and facilitate the best experience for them within those needs. And all of this then cultivates this positive interaction between the families, the schools, the community, and kind of make sure our kids are all getting what they need, because really everybody has that same goal. I know the GT department has the same goal that the parents do in terms of getting all our GT kids the services they need in the best ways possible. So we are changing our meeting structure. If you were with us last year, we are going to go to 4 face-to-face meetings. These are the meeting dates for those meetings. They'll all start at 6:30 at kind of a central location within the district. I think we are looking at the annex building, but I'll let them correct me if that changes. I see Dr. Westfall agreeing. Yes, they will be at the annex building, and these are the dates. You can mark them now and check your calendar before you volunteer to make sure you'll be able to attend these dates. Since we're only having 4 face-to-face meetings, we really want to make sure everyone can show up and be in that room. There will not be Zoom meetings anymore at all. We're just going to have this face-to-face system so we can really facilitate these conversations in a more kind of detailed and comprehensive way than we've been able to do on Zoom in the past. And our hope is that reducing the number of meetings will make it easier for people to be there and be with us. So the benefits of joining the GT PAC. I think really this lays it out well. You're really getting a voice in potentially what's going on in the district, not even if you're not directly impacting curriculum and things like that. They're using the feedback from the PAC to make decisions and to make changes and to get a sense of what's working and what isn't. So through that voice, you can really do all these other things. You can inform your community of what's going on and feel like you're clear on what's going on with the GT program and what changes are being contemplated, etc. You're collaborating with the department on what's best for the program and what you think these kids need and how best to give them that help. So you're getting to have that feedback, which is always a good way to advocate. When you know what's going on, you're a better advocate for your child and for the children around your child, so that everybody can get the best out of things. And those connections, I think, have been, I will say, connections through the PAC that are still friends, even though we're at different schools and different parts of the district. And there's a lot of support there, I think, when you have this GT kid to be like, who is going to understand what is going on with my kid right now? And the answer is other GT parents will understand. And so the PAC gives you a way to connect with those other parents and kind of make these connections across the district, even if we're all spread out over our, 80 campuses and 200 miles. So I think in person will facilitate some of those connections also in ways that I'm excited about for this year. So this is our interest form for this year. You can scan this QR code and there'll be a link in the chat to match, and let us know if you want to represent your school. So each school can have up to 3 parents representing it. When you fill out the form, I think there's an area that lets you say which campuses, multiple campuses, so they can slot you in. But I'll let Ms. Holmes correct me if I'm wrong about that. And the interest form will help us make sure that each campus gets as much representation as possible. So you have the 4 dates. If you know that you'll be able to facilitate joining us for those 4 dates, please feel free to fill out the interest form. And you'll get notified if you have been selected to be in the PAC. Most campuses, it's not an issue. There are a few campuses that always run at capacity in terms of PAC members. And so we really want to prioritize people who are going to be able to attend those 4 in-person meetings. So just be conscious of that. Yes, we will show the dates again before we leave so you can make sure. And then you'll get an email from Miss Holmes indicating that you've been chosen for the PAC. There's our dates again, those 4 dates. And the location is going to be at the Fort Bend ISD Annex building. It's kind of central in the district. I would say I'm not from Texas, but it's like closest to First Colony.
It's
I
off
think-
Sweetwater
Yeah.
by
Sorry, guys.
First Colony Elementary. Wait, it's First Colony or Colony Meadows?
I was thinking the mall. Everybody knows where the mall is, kind of roughly. It's not far from First Colony Mall. Clearly I still need to use my GPS to get around here half the time. Everything looks the same to me in Texas. But those are our 4 dates. And so it is kind of a central location within the district to help everybody get there. And meetings will start at 6:30. And on all these dates, that piece will be consistent. So you can plan now whether or not you'll be able to attend those dates.
And we are arranging for childcare if necessary.
So here's our feedback for this month. This is what they want. This is what the district would like us to know. We are going to host a number of family events this year. And if you guys can fill out this survey to give us a sense of what events you want to see this year, we obviously have some that have worked well in the past, and we're always open to new ideas. So this survey will give the department and the PAC an idea of what kind of events we're looking for and what we can take into account in terms of what you guys are wanting to set up those family events for this school year. I think that's really it. I saw a couple questions in the chat. Oh, someone's asking about the student identification number. It's your student's identification number, the same one as always. So if you go in Skyward and student profile, you can find their student identification number, just drop the 0, so it's 6 numbers. And that's it, it's not different for your GT. It's just your normal student identification number. Does anybody else have questions that I can answer for you guys?
Hi, Kim. Is it okay if I ask the question verbally as opposed to chat? I feel like my question's kind of long.
Yep, go for it.
So my child is not in the GT program yet, but we have referred him. We just moved to Texas last year, so he missed all the assessments.
Okay.
I understand that it's like a 2-week evaluation in November.
Well, the evaluation process is done through a combination of testing and parent surveys and teacher surveys, etc. So the whole
Okay.
process takes longer than 2 weeks,
Okay.
but it will happen in the fall, and the campus will set the kind of exact dates on when it's going to happen.
Okay, so I guess that was kind of my question because I was looking at the website and it said testing will be for 2 weeks in November. Unfortunately, we have a family commitment that we cannot get out of, and it happens to be in one of those 2 weeks. Is there somebody that we can talk to just so
yeah,
he doesn't miss the opportunity?
I would start with the COGS on your campus.
COGS. Okay, that would be like the GT committee of the campus.
Well, the champion of gifted services on your campus. And you
Okay.
can find who that person is on the GT website.
Okay, the COGS. Okay, I'll remember that.
And if
Thanks,
you
Kim.
can't easily find that, you can ask your guidance counselor and they can direct you also.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, hi, this is Divya here.
Yes.
So if I like enroll into the GT interest form, do I need to like what is the benefit of it? Could you please go through it again?
The interest form is what is to join the PAC, to become an official member of the GT Parent Advisory Committee.
Oh, okay. What do the committee members do? Like what contribution we need to make as a parent for that committee?
That's what we've talked about this whole time. So that's the feedback to the district and the conversations, those 4 meetings, and all of those things that we were talking about. The PAC is what the PAC members themselves will do.
Okay,
What
okay, yeah. Sorry, I joined late, so I just want to
No, that's
get the
okay. I
gist of
think
it. Okay.
I think the slides will be posted afterwards also through the Fort Bend ISD GT department and then the PAC section of
Huh?
the website. So you should be able to find them there
Okay.
after the fact if you need more information. We also can there's an email address for the PAC, and I can add that to the chat. I'm just making sure I'm putting it in right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can email questions to that also if you have them.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Quick
There.
question here. If
Want to make sure I
if
typed it in right.
if we okay, if we I heard mention of for elementary school kids, specifically the 5th graders, there's going to be some information about the GT Academy provided at the open houses. If we're going to miss the open house, is there a way for us to still get that information?
There's going to be a lot of information coming out throughout the year. So in addition to the open houses, I know that they will host a kind of open house night at the GT Academy that you can bring your kids to and kind of see what's going on there. And normally they also come to the campuses when it's closer to the application time to speak to the kids directly. I can't say for sure if they're going to do that this year. I'm sure Dr. Westfall can speak to that, but I do know they're still planning to have the open house night at the GT Academy itself to kind of show off what the Academy's doing.
Okay, and if our child is in 5th grade right now, they haven't already like selected next year's 6th grade class, right?
Girl, no, that happens in it happens in like in January. I have a 5th grader too, you know them when they're with you.
Okay, perfect.
They will send out tons of notifications. You will know when it is time to fill out that form. And then it's a lottery application system once you kind of submit your interest form. So none of that will
Okay,
happen
perfect.
until spring semester. So fall semester for the
Thank
5th
you so
graders
much.
to like get a sense of whether or not this is actually something they're interested in and gather more information about GTA itself.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And you're doing a fantastic job, Kim.
Thank you. Does anyone else have questions I can answer?
Yeah, I have a question. So this is our first year with Fort Bend ISD. I have 2 kids, one in 9th grade in Travis High School and one in 5th grade. We were zoned to Neal, but moved to Oakland as a new admission because of the full cap.
Welcome to my neighborhood. I
Thank
have a
you.
5th grader at Neal also, so you're in my neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my question is, both kids, they are from SST Sugarland Discovery District. They were in the charter school, and they both have been GT in that school. And this is our first year with the Fort Bend ISD. And I'm still waiting, like, I do not know what will be the further process for both of them. If do they recognize a GT? Do they need to retest it? How it will proceed further?
That is a question for, I would start with your guidance counselor. If they don't know the answer of exactly where your children stand in that process, I'll let Dr. Westfall speak to it, but I would say you're going to need to email Miss Williams, I would guess, as the elementary specialist, but maybe Dr. Westfall can answer that better than I can.
So
Okay.
there's a transfer process. So if your children were identified for gifted services where they were previously and were receiving services, when you registered in Fort Bend, there was an option, and I apologize because the system was changing over, but there was an option where you could indicate that they were receiving services. And when you do that, you can upload their identification if they have a profile, if they had testing, whatever the previous school used to identify them for GT services. That information can be provided either during registration or it can go to your registrar now. That will initiate a process through your campus counselor to our department. We will look it over. If it matches the criteria that we use to identify for services, we let the counselor know, hey, these children have been identified, we take care of it, and that's how it rolls. If what you have from your previous school does not match what Fort Bend needs, kind of to match our programming, then this is actually perfect timing because our fall referral window is open. It's open until September 30th. So you can go into our app, which is gt.fortbendisd.com, and you can refer your children there. But if they were receiving services at their previous school, you can initiate that transfer process. We get it done immediately. Our policy says it has to be done within 10 days of receiving that information, and that information has to come within, I think, 5 days. So there's some timing that needs to happen for that paperwork to kind of go through the system.
Okay, from my end, I started enrollment for both of them, knowing all this, that it takes time and all that. I enrolled them in March, between like month of March and April. I transfer all the documents of GT at that time, spoke to registrar. I emailed them personally everything, so they have everything on file for both of them. And I was told that since we have everything from beginning, they will do the class placement and everything accordingly, but it was not done accordingly. And when we have a school orientation for my son in the 5th grade, I spoke to registrar and she put him in the GT class with the high achievers, but they didn't know like about the transfer process or anything. Like they say the documents are in the file, but I don't know to whom to reach out. But for Travis, I could speak to somebody over the phone on the front desk. They transfer me. And I received an email 2 days ago that the document has been sent to some personnel and they will reach out to me about it. So how long did I wait?
So here's what I think you really need to do, because this is a definitive personal question, is to send us an email at our general box. And I'll put the email again in the chat. It's just gtfbisd@fortbendisd.com. I'll put it in there. But send us an email because it sounds like this may require some research. And I can't really speak to that until we have access to certain things that we can look at outside of where we are in our computer. So go ahead, send us an email with the dates. I thought you had just registered, so it was a general question, but it's really not kind of specific since you registered in March. So send us an email. When you send to the general box, the entire department that was introduced earlier, we all monitor that. So we will get in there, take at least kind of do a little bit of research so we can see and what's going on and get back with you.
Okay, let me just, did you put the email in the chat? Where do I have to send an email?
I'm going to write it right now. I wanted to answer your question out loud first, and I'll put the email in.
Okay. And should I, whatever I explain it to you, I should write that in the email with the name and school and the class of my both kids?
Whatever information you think will be helpful for us to do a little bit of research. It will be most helpful for us to have your child's names. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I made a typo. It'd be most helpful for us to have your child's name, maybe an ID number if you have that. And, just a little bit, because unfortunately I'm going to forget between today and tomorrow. I hate to say that, but I will if I don't write it down. So let us know the situation. You were at the meeting. Here's what happened, and we can start doing a little bit of investigation.
And also about this meeting, like I never received any, like there was no general email or anything. On my daughter, like 9th grader, she has the FBISD laptop and in her Skyward Just GT portal was added recently, like 2 days ago. I mean, on her Schoology, sorry, not Skyward. And then she clicked on it, just being curious what it is. And then we just figured out yesterday that this meeting is posted. I mean,
So
the post about the meeting. And then I had to call the school to retrieve the Zoom link and everything so I can attend the meeting.
the meeting was posted in the GT newsletter that comes out monthly. If your child was not identified as GT at that time, you would not have gotten that because the meeting is for GT parents. So now that if your child is actually identified now, and it sounds like potentially at least one of them is based on the Schoology ad, you will start to receive that newsletter on a monthly basis.
Okay, so since she has already the GT portal on Schoology, does it mean that she already identified, or should I wait for confirmation of the email?
I mean, I would confirm with Dr. Westfall, she's saying both children, but that is I would guess decent indication that at least at Travis, they consider that child to be GT.
Okay, I got you. Thank you so much. And my another question is, if we cannot commit to be a member of a GT PAC, like, does it make any difference for us not being in a PAC and just be a GT parent? Like, will we get the meetings or informations or whatever we need? Like,
You will not be attending PAC meetings. You will still get the monthly newsletter that all GT parents get, and you'll still be invited to any GT specific meetings that happen on your individual campuses.
okay. All right. And that, will I receive an email? Like, once if they are identified, will I receive an
Once
email?
you're identified, you will from the GT department with that monthly newsletter and quarterly newsletter, and also should start getting emails from your campus, and those will go to the Skyward or the Blackboard primary address, just like all other Fort Bend ISD communication.
Okay, and I spoke to registrar at Oakland for my fifth grader on the first day, and she said that they have all his documents, whatever we email, including the GT documents, on his file. So when I email on this email address that you give me today, do I still need to attach anything or just email?
I wouldn't attach anything at this point. I would just give the GT department the names of both your children, their student ID numbers, and the campuses they're attending. So
We
that
have a parent with a hand raised. We have a parent with a hand raised, Kim.
Okay.
Miss White.
Yes, thank you. My question was, I read in the chat that there are going to be open houses in schools, and is that going to be conducted by the COGS? Because our school, our guidance counselor left, and we have a new counselor. I think she's come from HISD, Elif ISD, I'm not sure. And we also have a COG who started spring semester, but we were so busy with STAR testing that we never got together. So should I get together with the COG?
I would ask your COGS when they plan to hold a campus-wide meeting about GT
Okay.
services. It is very unlikely to happen at the general school open house, some of
Okay.
which have already happened, like the high school level already had theirs. So that meeting is going to come from your COGS and will come in different forms. Some schools have virtual meetings, some schools will schedule in-person meetings, and some will communicate via email. So I would check with the COGS on your campus about the plan to get campus-specific information out.
Okay, thank you. Or maybe like have a little powwow with the new counselor and COGS and me.
I did post our contacts page, so if you need to look up who those folks are for your campus, there is a list of those in our GT webpage.
Okay, thank you so much.
Does anyone else have questions about the PAC? You can just unmute and ask. It's hard for me to see hands raised while I'm talking.
There's Anna.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a question. Actually, it's not about the PAC, but GT. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what is GT Academy?
It is a middle school academy for 6th through 8th grade students who've already been identified as GT, apply in their 5th grade year, and are accepted via the lottery. It's housed at Quail Valley Middle School in Missouri City.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep. And if you guys have kind of general GT questions that you're looking for answers to, feel free to use that PAC email address that I put in the chat earlier so that I can answer kind of more specific questions without taking up meeting time for everybody. Are there questions about the PAC?
I just wanted to confirm that we are only going to have 4 meetings this school year, and they're all going to be in person, and it was those dates that you showed earlier. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Aisha, could you
Yep.
go back to the slide that had the dates?
Also, one more question. Do we need to organize family events? You were
No,
mentioning.
at this point, we just want you to fill out that survey to really about what kind of family events you're interested in. We're not asking anybody to organize those events at this time.
Okay, then the only commitment from PAC is to participate in these 4 meetings, right?
Correct.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
I have a quick question about if there's multiple people applying to be a PAC member from one school, what's the choosing process? Like, what's the criteria you guys make your choices on?
There will be an extensive personal interview with. No, I'm totally kidding. Preference is given to people who are already serving on the PAC from that school, up to 3 years of service. So if there's somebody from that school who's renewing their service on the PAC, they will have preference. If it is all new people, I assume they flip a coin, quite frankly.
It's a lottery system.
There you
Great.
go.
Great. Thank you so much.
Miss Holmes is in charge of that piece, clearly.
Thank you.
I'm trying to just work my way through the chat, y'all, but feel free to unmute if you have more questions about the PAC. And again, I put that GT PAC email address in the chat. You can send questions about the GT program there. You can send questions about the PAC itself there. If I don't know the answer myself, I know where to find the answer generally. So I'm good for that. But I am generally happy to give time to parents who have questions about the GT program and get you the information you need, because information is the best way for you to advocate for your child and the best way for you to be in the loop about what's happening with your child's education. Does anyone else have PAC questions?
Are you going to add more board members or board positions, like someone organizing the social events or something in the future as we keep having meetings? Or is it going to be limited to
No, at
just
this
board
time,
members?
the only positions we'll be looking to fill starting next month are the president-elect and the parliamentarian.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So to fill in these 2 boxes, basically, for that executive board. As of right now, we're not planning to have committees within the PAC this year because of the new format.
Ah, that's right. It was the committees and the committee chairs.
If you guys don't have more questions, you're free to leave. I appreciate all your all's time. I'll stay on for a few minutes in case anybody thinks of a question. If not, you have the link to the interest form. Hopefully, a number of you will join the PAC and come meet me in person next month. I am just as loud in person as I am on screen.